Seeing as seeing as Strike Media was so great and so gracious to present us with a previous screen to the present, let us start there because this is the big thing, new thing that's going to be in cinemas next week. We usually start with the cinema thing. So I have just finished watching this just before I came onto the call, and the present is a film that kicks off, and it kicks off, and you are in a home. There's like you see this kid who's in the basement in the house, and he has an iPad with him, and he starts off with an etch a sketch. He has an etch a sketch, and he's sort of drawing something. I can see that he has this thing where it's like almost this sort of string diagram that has like morning, afternoon, this, everything like that. Then he takes it, walks upstairs to the table where he sits down with his family, his older sister, older brother, and his mom and dad. And the mom and dad sit them down. The mom and dad, played by Isla and Greg Kinnear. The mom and dad sit them down and they go, "Kids, we have something to tell you." Now, if you've watched any films, when you have a dinner that mom and dad have decided all the kids are supposed to come to, and this has never happened to me in life, but I've learned from it. I've learned it through films. When you have a thing where mom and dad sit you down and go, "Kids, we have something to tell you," it's never good, and in film speak, it's only ever one thing.
You all adopted?
Well, that would be a twist. That would be a twist. That would be a twist of the formula. So the parents say, "Kids, we have something to tell you. Your mom, your dad and I are getting separated. Just a trial separation. There's no divorce. It's not going to be forever. Just trial separation." The kid who you see first runs out of the room. You don't see him. The older kids are arguing with the parents about, "How can you do this to us?" Blah blah blah, and all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, everything starts happening in reverse. Everything starts sort of like going backwards, and everything sort of just sort of like like everybody's sort of like sped up backwards, and it goes back to the morning, and then it kicks off. It kicks off again, and it transpires that the kid that you first meet, Taylor, he's the youngest kid of this family. He's a non-verbal child, so he communicates through using an iPad and everything like that, and using voice filters like Barack Obama and Optimus Prime and all that kind of. And he is downstairs with this grandfather clock. They have a grandfather clock that's been given to them that belonged to their grandfather, but it turns out that it's actually a magic clock and can turn back time. So what turns out into this film is like a Groundhog Day type scenario where this kid, the youngest kid in the family, who is obviously neurodiverse, he doesn't like to be touched, he doesn't like to be touched, he doesn't speak, he communicates through an iPad and everything, doesn't like change, decides that this is wrong, my parents need to stay together. He's found out that this clock can turn back time, and so he keeps reliving the same day over and over and over again to try and keep his parents together. Then he realizes after a while, like he says, "Okay, fine, so what I need to do is, on this day, dad goes there, mom goes there, I can't do this myself." So he brings his sister in and says, "You need to help me because mom and dad are going to." Then she gets in on it, and then eventually it eventually ends up being this sort of caper thing, caper Groundhog Day, where these three kids are running around, reliving the same day over and over again, trying to keep their parents together. That is the basic premise of the film. And essentially, when this film kicks off and you see the family at the dining table and you hear, "Mom, kids, your mom and I have something to tell you, my dad and I have something to tell you, we're going to get a divorce," I look at this film and I go, okay, this film can only ever be a 3-star. So it's because it has that sheen to it. It has that kind of like there is a bit of me that's surprised that this film was coming out in cinemas, because this is the kind of film like The Family Plan or Instant Family or something like that that streaming platforms are eating up at the moment. Streaming platforms seem to be making a concerted effort to make this kind of film to become the natural home for this kind of film. So I'm looking at going, okay, I kind of think I know where this is going. It's like when you see a rom-com, you kind of think you know where it's going. It's wholesome family film. Family at the beginning, they're gonna break apart. There's probably going to be scenes where they sort of like, "Oh yeah, we're going to get together, and oh well, we're going to remember why we loved each other in the first place," and all that, and it doesn't disappoint. It doesn't disappoint in that it does what you think it will do, without many deviations along the way. Sharon, looked like you were about to say something.
Now, I was going to say, it used to be that Amazon Prime was the home of the time-slip film, and I think
Yes.
you had seen more than one.
Yes.
So I was thinking, hey, why
Yeah.
was this not on Amazon
Yes,
Prime?
yes, I remember.
Yeah.
It's like
The
Amazon
times-
Prime. You missed one. You missed one because it's like, because I remember there was a 2 week period in which we had Palm Springs and the
Yeah.
map of tiny pretty things, or the number no the map of tiny perfect things. I think it was that came out within weeks of each other. The time slips, rom-com. But I was like, oh, I gotta check what's going on here. The Netflix had see you yesterday. Which was now see yesterday is probably the best out of them for my money, and so
My
this
brain just went somewhere completely different when the title started and thought, well, that sounds like it's going to be very rude, doesn't it?
what see you yesterday.
Yes, I didn't think the third word was going to be yesterday.
We'll talk about that later. But so yeah, I kind of thought this film, the most it can be is going to be a 3 because I think it's going to be family comedy where you have like a couple of good name stars doing something. Is the whole point of it is to be wholesome and to make you, reaffirm the good things about life, and that's what it does. To begin with, I found it quite engaging in the first half an hour or so. But then after a while, because they keep rewinding the same day and they're going back to the beginning, but each time they go back to the beginning, they show it from a different person's perspective, it started to wear a bit. And I was like, oh, okay, come on. Look, we know where this is going to end. Get there quicker. and so much so that some of the I think there's a bit where they have a montage of them going over and over again. But that happens towards the end. And some of the funniest moments, like the one laugh out loud moment that I had, happened at the end of the film. Had to do with, because they live the same day over and over again, they think, what's going to make a parent stay together? Money. And so they go do a whole bunch of day trading so they can make a whole bunch of and it's and there's funny bits in it and everything like that. I think it is distracting enough. I guess half term is coming up next week, so that's the kind of time where people will probably go see a family movie. You won't be disappointed. It's what you'll expect. It's a 3. It's a 3, probably a 3 minus for me. But I think it's distracting enough. Go watch it.